Hey, hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Friends, this is part 2 of creation of custom VPC. So if you have not seen the part first of the video, then I would recommend you to please go to the first part so that you will get to know. So we have seen like what we have performed the steps in the part first. So what we had done is we had created a custom VPC with the name VPC01 and an IP range of 20.0.0.0/16. You remember like we have gone through the cider.xyz and we have selected this range which allows us to create the maximum number of IP addresses. Then after that what we had done in the previous step is we created an internet gateway which we called as myigw and added it in the route table. So that will allow us to access to the internet. Okay, let me go to the AWS management console. I will show you. So this is the VPC01 that I was talking about that we had created in the part 1 with this IPv4 cider. You can see it's 20.0.0/16. Okay, this is the our custom VPC. And if we go to the internet gateways, so we all know, right, like every VPC can have at the max only one internet gateway can be assigned. So we can't assign an internet gateway to the two VPCs at the same time. Okay. And this is the myigw that we had created and attached to our custom VPC. You can see it's VPC0 and it's attached to that. The status has attached. Okay. So in this lecture, what we are going to see, we will create a new subnet in our customized VPC and in the range 20.0.0/24. So please note like the subnet is a part of VPC, so you can say subnet is a subset of VPC, so it should have the IP range lower than whatever the maximum IP of range of VPC01. So in this case, since /16 will be the range of our VPC, so it should be lower to that, so it should not be overlapping to the range of our IP address of the VPC. Hence I had selected /24, and we can create multiple subnets in the VPC. Then we will try to create a new subnet in this VPC. Then we will go to our route table and we will add this newly created subnet. So every subnet needs to be associated to the route table that we will see. After that, we will try to create an EC2 instance in our custom VPC, which we call as VPC01, and then we will, once this is launched, then we will try to access it using SSH, and we will install HTTPD. So this will make our instance as our web server, and we'll try to like once we have started. So once the HTTPD has been installed, so we need to start the service. We'll see how we can do that, and we will try to validate the HTTPD using the web browser. So this is the things, or these are the steps we will be performing today. So let's get started. So first I will create a new subnet in the VPC and with this IP range of 20.0.0/24. Okay. So for that you need to go to the subnets. And here we will, you can see I have already created the subnet. Okay, my subnet 01. Oh, so in this case we will create another subnet. I'll click on create subnet. Then here in the VPC ID we need to select our, so it will present all the VPCs which are available. So this is the VPC01 is the VPC that we are going to create our subnet inside. Okay, so I will create VPC01 and select this one. Okay. Then I will give a name, say my subnet 02. You can give any name, and you can see the name can be up to 256 character long. So any name with 256 characters long can be specified. Go to availability zone. So I will select South 1A. Okay. Here the cider range. So this should not be overlapping, or it should match to the IP range of our VPC. So VPC IP range is 20.0.0/16. So let's give it as 20.1.0.0/24. Then I will leave the tag name as untouched, okay, because by default it has name as my subnet 02, and we all know that there can be up to 50 tags that can be assigned. So tag is something that will give the more description to your resources. And yeah, there is nothing else. Then I will create, just click on create subnet. Okay, so we got an error, CIDR address is not within the CIDR address from the VPC. Okay, in this case let me 0.0.0 overlaps with the existing CIDR, because we already have the subnet with this IP range. That is the reason it's not allowing us. Let's see this one, 20.0.2.0/24. So yeah, this time we didn't get any error, and our subnet has been created successfully with this CIDR or IP range. So this means we can create any resources which will be falling in this range if we are using the subnet 02. Okay. After this, the next step would be we need to go to the route table, and in the route table we have these two route tables. So one is the default route table and another is custom route table. If you scroll to the right, you can see the VPC ID. So the VPC 01, the one route table which belongs to VPC 01 is the route table we are looking for. Okay, just click on this route table. Here you can see different parameters are there. You can see the route, the 0000/0 is the address of internet. So our resources will be having access to internet because of this route. Go to subnet association, and here we need to click on edit subnet association. You can see here you do not have any subnet association. So by default there is no subnet that is associated to this route table. So we will click on edit subnet association, and I will select my subnet 02. This is the subnet that I will be selecting, and go down and click on save associations. So you can see here a message, you have successfully updated subnet associations for this route table. Okay, so in this case we are good. Okay, so we have done this part. Okay, now let's go to let's try to create an EC2 instance to within this route table and subnet range. Okay, so for that click on services, go to EC2. You can see we don't have any. Okay, it's still getting updated. Click on this instances running, and here, yeah, we don't have any running instances at this point. I will click on launch instances. So this will open up this page, and here I will go with opting to the new experience. Okay, I will go with the old experience only. We can, by clicking this button, it will bring us to the new page with the new user interface. I don't want this at this point of time. Here I will click on free tier only because I don't want to run out of my free tier, and I will select Amazon Linux to AMI. By default I will select this one. Then I will continue t2.micro. You can see here is the button, free tier eligible, so we are good, and we will click on next. And this is the main page regarding our VPC selection. Here number of instances 1, purchasing option. I want to go with the spot instances. We'll see what is the spot instances in the upcoming session. Okay. Under network, by default you can see it has selected default VPC, but we are looking for creating instances in the custom VPC, which is VPC 01. I will select this, and inside the subnet we have two subnets. So we just created my subnet 02, that is just that we recently created. I will select this one. Okay, so you can see it can allow us 251 IPs can be available. Okay, using that. Under auto assign public IP, I will go with enable, because we need this instance to be assigned a public IP. So I will click on enable. Okay, then yeah, I'll stick with the default settings whichever are there. Okay, and click on next to add storage, click next to add tags. I give this as a name as EC2. You can give any name. I will give as Custom VPC. Okay, and click on next to configure security groups. Here we need to attach HTTP and HTTPD service, means we need to make this as a web server once this instance gets launched. HTTP and HTTPS, and you can ignore this error for now, because as soon as we test it we will shut it down. I'll click on review on launch, and here again I'll click on launch on the review page. Okay, on the key pair I will go with creating a new key pair and give it as a name as new key pair. Okay, new key pair, I will give this name and click on download key pair. So this will download the key pair in the .pem format. You can see this has downloaded here, and we need to convert it to the .ppk file. We will see how we can do that, and I will click on the launch instances button. So our instance is getting launched in the custom VPC that we have created. So let's give it a couple of minutes, and in the meanwhile we will see how we can convert this .pem file to the .ppk, so that this is .ppk is basically putty file, so that when we need any Unix or Linux machine to be accessed using putty, so we need to convert this .pem file to the .ppk file. It's a very simple. I will show you how we can do that. So for this we need a software called as puttygen. I already have this puttygen with me. Just open this puttygen. Inside this load on existing private key, just select the load. Okay. I will go to downloads button, and here I will see all files. Click on all files. You can see new kpair.pm. This is the file we need to convert. Click on select. Okay, and just click on save private key. Yeah, are you sure you want to save this key with the passphrase, without a passphrase to protect it? Basically passphrase is kind of password if we need additional password, so I don't need this at this point of time. Click on yes, and I will save. You can see it's saving as putty private key files. Okay, I will see the new key pair, and I will click on save. Okay, please ensure you are not going to click on this generate button, okay, because it will change everything and our server won't recognize it if we click on generate. So instead of that, whatever steps I showed, you can use those steps and you can convert it. I'll close this now, and let's give it a couple of minutes till our instance gets ready to be accessed. Okay, so you can see status checks are passed, so it seems we are good to access this instance. Let me copy the public IP address, go to putty, I will post the IP address here, and here in the SSH I will choose the key pair that we just created. So I will click this new key pair and click on select, and finally click on open. So here let's click on yes, and by default the name, as we all know, is EC2 user. Enter. Yeah, now let's try to install HTTPD software, so that let's make it as a web server. For that, first I will do sudo su. This will make me a super user. Okay, Then I will install httpd yum install. You can use this command httpd -. Yeah, this is for httpd. You can go to this path var.html, and here you can see, yeah, now we need to also start our service. So it's service http service has been started. So now let's create an index.html page. So let's echo welcome back. I will redirect this to we can cat and see index.html. So it's the welcome back message. Now let's try to access this server from web browser. For that, let me again copy this public IP address, go to browser and paste it here. Yeah, you can see here its message welcome back. Okay, so we can customize index.html, and we can customize and whatever message we want, so we can do that. So basically the idea of trying to access this from the web browser and like installing the httpd was whether our instance is trying to access to the internet or not. So we have seen like our instance can be accessed, it can access to the internet. We can install any packages, say we can update, what are the update package, we can update what are the software somewhere. So there are no packages that are marked for the update. Okay, so we have seen how we can install the httpd and how we can make it as a web browser, and we are able to access it from the web browser. Okay, so ensure once you are done with all your hands-on, you are going to terminate your resources, otherwise you will be getting billed once the free tier quota gets exceeded for that particular month. So friends, I hope you got the point and I hope you enjoyed it. So basically with VPC we can create our own logical data center, or it provides us a range of IP addresses. We can customize it and we can launch our resources inside that. And see, in case we don't want our resources to be accessed as a public, so what we can do in that case is, in this case I can create another, say, subnet. So we can create another subnet, and that subnet we can call it as a private subnet. Say for example, I'll show you how we can do that in case we don't want our resources to be accessed publicly. So I will go to the subnets, and we can create a subnet, another subnet. Let us select this, or VPC01. Here I will name it as private subnet with, say, availability zone as Bondi. Okay. And I will do the range of 21.0.3.0/24. Okay. To create it, so this has been created. Okay, so in this case what we can do is, we are not going to attach this subnet or to the route table. So see, we have two route tables, one is with the default VPC, one is the customized VPC. Okay, so you can see the custom route table is the route table on which we have created internet gateway and attached to it. So the subnet association we can see here. Yeah, so in this case what we can do is, we are not going to attach this private subnet to any route table, so that our resources in the private subnet are not addressable from the internet, and those are private. So that is something we can do. Okay. So since we won't be having any access or any connection to the internet gateway, hence our resources will be private and those will no longer be available or accessible from the internet. And there are some other things like in this case what we can do is, even though, so basically this is regarding like in, especially the databases or what are the services we need to be secured from the internet. So in that case we can create our resources and launch it inside the private subnet. And there are other things like bastion hosts are there, and some other things are also there from which we can, there are some other resources that we can use so that we can try to update the packages or software updates or install softwares for the resources inside private subnet. So that we can see in the upcoming session. So that's it for today, friends. I hope you enjoyed this, and this is very clear to you. So let's summarize. So we have seen like VPC is, it provides us a customized range of IP address, and we can create our logical data center inside AWS or inside the cloud, and it provides us the options. We can either go with the public subnet or private subnet. Public subnet has a face or it has an internet gateway that has been attached to that, so that our resources inside public subnets are accessible from the internet. Okay. And private subnet is something that the resources are private, there is no internet gateway that has been part of that, and resources will be secured. And we can have some other resources like bastion hosts, etc., so from where we can securely administer our resources inside our private subnet. So that's it for today, friends. I hope you got the point. Okay, please stay tuned, please like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any doubts, please feel free to mention it in the comment section. Okay, thank you, bye bye.